Okay, so this is gonna be a very, very long video. I already know it because I have a lot to talk about. So yeah, just bear with me. First of all, sorry for the wet hair. I had just gotten out of the shower. It's kind of early in the morning. It's about 10:30 in the morning right now. Before you ask, no, I am not. I don't wear jerseys inside the house 24/7 or anything. I just kind of in the shower. I just kind of thought, hey, might as well just do a video on this topic. And so right as I got out of the shower, I didn't really dry my hair. I just, put on my clothes, put the jersey on, and just turned the camera on and started talking. So, yeah. Now, before you start commenting down below, you've seen the title already, and before you comment saying, why are you comparing these two players? Why are you comparing these two athletes side by side? You should be comparing, Gretzky versus Lemieux or something like that, or Gretzky versus Bossy, or you should be comparing, Jordan versus LeBron, or Jordan versus Curry, or something like that, or Jordan versus Bryant. This basically all stemmed from a friendly debate I had with a friend a couple days ago, and so we did start out talking about like Gretzky versus Lemieux and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into full detail with that because it's already going to be a really long video. So we talked about Gretzky versus Lemieux. We had a good debate about that for a good 15 minutes or so. Friendly debate, mind you. And then we went to I think it was like Gretzky versus Bossy, or like Ovechkin versus Bossy or something like that. And then all of a sudden we decided to kind of combine two sports together, and we said Gretzky versus Jordan. And this was by far the longest debate that we had throughout the whole day. I think it lasted about an hour and a half. And in my opinion, Gretzky wins that. Gretzky versus Jordan, it's Gretzky, and it's not particularly close. Now, of course, Gretzky and Jordan, both kind of define their respectable sports. Gretzky basically is the most, by far the most popular hockey player, unless you're like a Canadian American or something like that, and you don't follow hockey, but you're from Canada, and you come over here to America, you know nothing about hockey. You've definitely heard Tim Hortons name, because Tim Hortons are everywhere, and Tim Horton was a player for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think he played for some other teams, or like at least one. I know he played for at least one other team, I think, but I remember him most as a player for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think that's what everyone remembers him as, besides, being the creator of Tim Hortons. But I digress. So yeah, Jordan, popularized basketball, and Gretzky popularized hockey. And so, like I said, in my opinion, I think Gretzky is the more superior one, and I don't even think it's close. Everyone knows that he has, over 1,000 more points over anyone else in hockey history. Well, I digress. All right, I retract that statement. Because I think two people are within 1,000 of him. I think, let's see, Mark Messier, and Jaromir Jagr. So Mark Messier is 980 points behind him, I think. Wait. No, 970, because Messier has a 1887, Gretzky has 2857, so that's 970. And then I know Jagr has 1921, but I'm not going to try to do the math on that one. But yeah, everyone knows, generally, besides Messier and Jagr, everyone knows he has, 1,000 points more than anyone else in hockey history. And he has more assists than anyone has total points. That still stands true today, because Gretzky had 1963 assists, and Jagr only has a 1921. So, and he's also the all-time goal-scoring leader. Other than that, he wasn't really that good. I mean, yes, he's the great one, but still, Gretzky has the 7 top single-season assist marks in NHL history, and 11 out of the top 13. So I think the other ones are. I know one of them is Lemieux, because, of course, he had that 199-point season. I don't remember exactly what year that was, and actually I wouldn't even know who the other one was. I'm gonna have to look that up. But yeah, he also has the top four overall single season scoring records in NHL history, and 6 of the top 7. And oh, by the way, the 2 best goal scoring seasons in NHL history and 4 out of the top 10. He is by far the all-time playoff scoring leader in goals, assists, and points. Like Jordan, he was in the finals, championship final 6 times. Let's see, Gretzky, before the whole 4 Stanley Cups, he did make the They did make the final in '83 with the Islanders, and actually the Islanders are a future video that I have planned. So made it to he lost the final in '83 with the against the Islanders, and then he took LA to the Stanley Cup final in '93, where they were beaten by Montreal, which is the last Canadian Stanley Cup. For now. So 25 years, I hope a Canadian team is going to come out. Hopefully Toronto, but they have like crazy, cap issues right now. 4 players with $40 million combined. Like, oh my gosh. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Gretzky versus Jordan. So, but yeah, he played for the title 6 times, won only 4 times. Jordan won all 6 of his finals appearances. But context matters here. The losses came to the Islanders dynasty, which I mentioned earlier, that were, that had won, let's see, up at that point, 15? Yeah, 15 straight playoff series. A loss that, Gretzky and Edmonton, they, came back and had revenge next year. So the other loss came from the LA Kings, which I just mentioned. A team with basically no success before Gretzky was traded there, and all of a sudden hockey just blew up in LA. You had Marcel Dion, a very underrated player, very, very great goal scorer, Marcel Dion. And there was also Rogie Vachon. Not a lot of people know that Rogie Vachon was actually the Patrick Waugh's idol. So that's pretty cool. He was I think he was the 68 Vezina Trophy winner. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, Rogie Vachon and Marcel Dion are really the only 2 people that I can name as LA Kings before Wayne Gretzky was there. I think Robitaille was there before Gretzky as well. But, of course, a lot of people know Luc Robitaille. But, yeah, he basically took a terrible team almost to the title. So, that's understandable. If Gretzky hadn't been traded, there would not be a hockey fan alive who believes he... Oh, my gosh. I'm trying to word my thoughts here, but it's... everything is being jumbled around. Had Gretzky not been traded, there is not a hockey fan alive who would believe he would not have won at least 6 or 7 titles and possibly even 10 Stanley Cups. So, I think him being traded was the best thing to happen to him because I'm pretty sure he was at the end of what he could do in Edmonton. Still, Edmonton won another cup in 1990 without him. Granted, it took 1 year of losing to, I don't remember. Did they even? I forgot they even made the playoffs. I'm pretty sure they did, but I think they got outed in the first round very quickly. But then Marc Messier came and pushed that team to victory and won the Stanley Cup in 1990 over Boston. But yeah, and then you might say that, Jordan, dominated the playoffs when, he was with the Bulls. You could make that argument, but then, here's the thing. Gretzky, like I said earlier, is the NHL's all-time leader in playoff goals, assists, and points. In points, he has 382. Some people don't even have 382 points in their career. Gretzky has 382 points just in the playoffs. That's 87 more than second place Marc Messier. He has 260 assists, 74 more than Messier right there, and 121 more than any other player in the rest of the freaking field. And he has 122 goals, which again is 13 more than Messier. Granted, Messier did have a little bit more, luck in the playoffs after Gretzky left and whatnot. But he has 56 more than Mario Lemieux. Just for some context, I mean, Mario Lemieux, absolute superstar. You can honestly, you can go back and forth as to who was the better player, Gretzky or Lemieux. Gretzky played on basically an all-star team in Edmonton, but then Mario Lemieux had problems with injuries and stuff like that, and he still willed his way into being all these scoring titles and all that stuff and Hart trophies and all that crazy stuff. You can argue between the two, and both people could be right at the same time. Gretzky and Lemieux are the two best players in the National Hockey League history. But yeah, I mean, Lemieux was just he was something else. I mean, people say Gretzky was something else. Lemieux was also pretty much something else as well. I would easily put him number 2. But I could easily put him number 1 or number 2. It's just he's just that kind of a dynamic player with Gretzky, 99 and 66. So Mario scored barely half as many playoff goals as Gretzky, though. Just think about that. It's freaking crazy. Gretzky is basically something like 23% as a score above any other player in NHL playoff history. That's like someone smacking 91 home runs in baseball next year, or scoring 40 goals or 40 points per game in the NBA playoffs for a career. And like I said, context is everything. Consider the following. Now, in 79, Gretzky enters the NHL on a team, the Oilers, that's coming from the WHA. He's not joining an established team. He is the team. No one expected the Oilers to compete with the NHL. Everyone assumes they'll be terrible. In his rookie year, 79-80, 19 years old, Gretzky led the league in total scoring and assists. 51 goals, 86 assists, 137 points, and a ridiculous plus-minus of 51. Plus 51. Now, I know plus-minus is a very hotly debated topic about, is it really, is it actually, reasonable to compare somebody with plus-minus? It's still an interesting statistic, so, I'll throw it in here. But he was the league MVP as a rookie. The next season, 20 years old, shatters the NHL's single-season scoring record. 55 goals, 109 assists, 164 points, plus-minus of plus 60. He broke the mark by 12 points, or 8% above the best single-season above the best single-season point record in hockey history. He set the single-season record for assists this year, a record he would break 8 more times. Again, league MVP. I mean, this is like a down season compared to what he would do next. You just sometimes if you look at all of his seasons, you look at his second season and be like, he only got 164 points? Only 164 points. It's crazy what he would do next. As a 21-year-old, he kills that previous record. The 164 points absolutely blows it out of the water. When you think, that's it, that's this flash in the pan, moment, That's all he's going to do. Takes that record and just throws it all the way to the moon. Just says, bye-bye. He adds 48 points on top of that. He puts up 92 goals, still a record. 92 goals, 120 points, 120 assists, 212 points. Now, what Maurice Richard and Mike Bossy had done before, Mike Bossy actually did it the season prior. I think Maurice Richard did it in 44-45, was to score 50 goals in 50 games. Yeah, Gretzky did that in his 39th game. While Mike Bossy was already behind, he was behind on his 50th game. He only had 47 goals, I think. It was either 47 or 48. He was already behind, in his 50th game. Maurice Richard, I don't remember much. I think he was on pace the whole time. Gretzky went crazy. 45 goals after his 38th game. And then on his 39th game, he says, you know what? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get 5 against Philly. Because, he's off the mark by 5 goals and he's only in his 39th game. And he did it with the last goal being an empty netter, but I mean, still it's completely crazy. In winning his 3rd MVP title, Gretzky beat the pre-Gretzky scoring record by 60 points. So, before he started breaking the record and everything, if you completely just toss those seasons away and you started with just this season right here, he would have broken the record by 60 points, or about 40% of what the record was. He would have eclipsed it by another 40%. And so here we needed to just pause for a second. So let's kind of ballpark this. No pun intended for what I'm about to say next. But yeah, let's just kind of imagine this for a second, okay? Imagine somebody in baseball he's batting an average of 580, which is beyond insane. Okay, he's batting 580, or he hits 100 home runs in a single season. Let's go to NBA. Let's imagine an NBA player averaging 70 points per game, breaking Wilt Chamberlain's 50.4, 50.6, something like that. Wilt Chamberlain's, per game record. Let's go to football. Imagine an NFL quarterback throwing for 7,500 yards and 70 touchdowns. Or you can imagine a running back running for about 3,000 yards. This is what Gretzky did by his 3rd season in the NHL. He was only 21 years old. I'm 20. Just imagine a kid like me going out and doing this kind of crap in the NHL right now. That's basically, what he did. But then he got even better. From 22 to 25, he proved it wasn't just a flash in the pan. In those next seasons, he posted 196 points, 205 points, and 208 points, in 83, 84, and 85. Then in 86, 85, 86, he posts 215, 52 goals, 163 points, 215 points in 85, 86. The last of these 2 years, he won, his first titles in, 84 and 85. 86, Game 7, Campbell Conference Final against Calgary Flames. Steve Smith puts it into his own goal and wins the game for Calgary. But we won't talk about that. That was a crazy, crazy team in 86. Such a disappointment they didn't win the Stanley Cup, but, some things do happen. And let's go back to that first year. In '83, Gretzky leads the NHL in goals, assists, and points. I mean, to be expected already. 71 goals, 125 assists, 196 points. Hall of Famer Peter Stastny, he was second. Just how far back was he? 124 points. 72 points less than Wayne Gretzky that season. 72 points. That's second place. The next year in '84, he scores 87 goals. Michel Goulet was second, and he only scored 56 goals, 31 goals behind, which is completely crazy. And on top of that, he also had 118 assists. Paul Coffey was second with 86 only 86 assists. And then the next or not the next year, not yet. Gretzky also had 205 points. Paul Coffey came in second at 126, 79 points behind Gretzky, which is absolutely insane. And then the next year in '85, Gretzky scores 73 goals. Jari Kurri at 71 was second, but I mean they're on the same team. Curry was his wingman. So Gretzky scores 73 goals, puts up 135 assists. Okay, Paul Coffey at second was 84. He was 51 assists behind Gretzky, and scores 208 points. Kind of average year, you would kind of say, for Gretzky. 208 points. That's to be expected. That's pretty average for Gretzky. He's 73 points ahead of Jari Kurri, who had 135 points, which was second. Gretzky would still have won the scoring title if he didn't score a single goal that season. Except he also happened to lead the league in goals that season with 73. And so a pretty promising rookie named Mario Lemieux was a rookie this year. He scores 100 points and wins the Calder for Rookie of the Year. So yeah, Calder Trophy winner, Rookie of the Year winner. He only scores 100 points. Double that, you're still 8 points behind a Gretzky. And then let's go on to the next year. Only scores 52 goals. Only. Sixth in the NHL. 163 assists. The best single season assist record in NHL history in 85-86. 49 more than any other player besides Gretzky has ever put up in a season. And because of that, he sets the all-time points record with 215 points. And then the next 2 years after 86, 87 and 88, he wins 2 more Stanley Cups for a total of 4. So yeah, Wayne Gretzky is definitely, easily, the most dominant athlete of any sport that I've heard of so far. Definitely after my lifetime, because I was born in '98 and I was way too young when he retired. I was a little over a year old when he retired in 1999. But still, just hearing all these things, watching old games, watching him play. Everyone always used to describe him as playing chess, and he was playing like 10 or 20 moves ahead of everybody. That just shows how smart of a player he was. He was a very, very smart player. Even, I didn't write this down as notes. I'm actually kind of looking at my screen. So if you see me kind of looking down below the camera, I'm looking at my notes, and you probably heard me scrolling with my arrow keys or scrolling with my mouse. I didn't put these down in my notes, but even in his last years in New York, he still put up pretty respectable, you know, season totals. I mean, or I wouldn't say way better, but like around kind of like third line performance, or even second line performance. And this was after he had played hockey for about 20 years. He was still putting up like 60-ish points in his last season. I think he only scored like 7 goals or something like that, but he still put up like 63 points, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, laughable for Wayne Gretzky, but considering, you know, at that time in his career where he was basically just really just slowing down and, you know, not really playing that well anymore, it's still insane to think that he was still putting up 60 points that late in his career. But yeah, when you win 9 Hart trophies, 9 MVP awards, you really are the great one. And it's no way is it disrespectful to Michael Jordan at all to say he's not the great one in this conversation. But personally, and I'm not even trying to be biased as a hockey fan. I'm just saying Wayne Gretzky easily he deserves the name the Great One. Once you see everything that he's done in his career, it's completely insane. So, yeah. Anyways, that's going to be it. I hope you guys were able to follow through all that. I'm looking at my timer right now. I'm actually almost 27 minutes in, which I'm surprised. I thought this was going to go for like 40 minutes, but I didn't really ramble on as much as I used to. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I hope you follow through all that. I mean, I wish I could have had a whiteboard to kind of like write down notes or something like that, but then I'd kind of be a ripoff of the hockey guy. I kind of want to do my own thing. So, yeah. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and till next time, I'll see you guys later.